So hey everyone, and in this video we are going to learn about auth and refresh tokens logic. Okay, so in the last videos we have actually covered very basics like how to generate auth token and how to send the auth token as cookies and receive as cookies into the middleware. Now, how exactly they would help us to stay authenticated or log out from somewhere? So it's very easy. If I give you an example of a mobile application, okay, so let's say you are logged into some mobile application. Let's say we are talking about Instagram, okay. So I'll just say that this is Instagram mobile application. Okay, it's valid for websites also or anything which you think about. I'm just giving you an example. Okay, so if you are into some mobile application and you are currently logged in, okay, currently you logged in, you just now added your email and password and now you are logged in. Now if I close the application, would you be still logged in or not? Obviously, once you close the application and restart the application, you would be still logged in. Why it happens? Because for the first time when you log in, you again have auth token and a refresh token. You have both of these token. Okay. Now suppose both of these are valid for what? This is suppose valid for 10 minutes and this is suppose valid for 1 day. Okay, so 1 day. So you can see that I have both of these tokens whenever I log in, and this is the validity. This is the validity. That means suppose if I just close the application, if I close the application, what would happen next time? Next time I have the auth token and have the refresh token. That means I have at least both of these. Now I have to check for expiry of both these. When I reopen the application, I have to check the expiry of these. If auth token is expired, that means after 10 minutes expired. Okay, that means 11 minutes expired. But the time here is suppose you logged in, you restarted the application after 55 minutes. That means still less than 1 day. Okay, so your refresh token is valid. If at least refresh token is valid, auth token is not valid, refresh token is valid, what you would actually do is generate new auth token and refresh. So this happens every time when you start an application. But if you went away for 1 day, okay, but if you went away for 1 day, what actually happens is suppose after 1 day, what would happen? Your auth token is expired. Okay, auth token is expired and refresh is also expired because it's after 1 day. Okay, so refresh is also expired. So what happens in this case? You would be logged out. You would be logged out, so you have to log in again. That's it. Okay, so that's the logic. Obviously the time is very much more than just a 1 day, but I'm just giving you an example. But auth token is refreshed continuously. That means whenever you start the application and you check that if auth token is expired, refresh token is not expired, so you have to regenerate these tokens so that it's not hackable. Okay, suppose if for 1 year you keep the same auth token and refresh token, obviously any hacker can get that token and hack your Instagram account or any account easily. That's why these tokens are also refreshed. Okay, that's why we need a refresh token and auth token, and both of them are really useful. Auth token is just for checking that if the token is valid or not. If the token is invalid, we have to check for refresh token. If the refresh token is valid, generate new auth token and refresh token. But if refresh token is also invalid, then simply say logged out. Okay, so what would happen once you start the application? First of all, if your auth token is there, what would happen? You would be sent to home page of Instagram. That means you are logged in. Okay, home page, that means you are already logged in. Okay, if auth token is invalid but refresh token is valid, then after this new auth token and refresh token is generated, and again after this you are sent to home page. Okay, again you are sent to home page. I hope this is visible enough. So that's the exact logic how it actually works. But if both of them are expired, we are simply going to say logged out. So in some cases you might also see that when you start the application, if you don't have the auth and refresh, okay, that means you clear the cookies or you clear the mobile data, obviously you would be logged out, right? That means you don't have the tokens. That means clear history. So if you clear auth and refresh, what would happen? You would be logged out. Okay, you would be logged out. That's it. So that's the exact logic for auth and refresh token, and we always check auth and refresh token to perform any task. When you want to update the password and you want to just view Instagram reels or anything you want, you would first of all check that the user is logged in or not. If the user is not logged in, obviously you would be sending the user to login page. Okay, so that's how the logic of auth token and refresh token actually works. So now guys, in this page which we created in the last video, which was for a middleware and it checked the auth token, we are going to complete the logic of auth token and refresh token. So what we did was, first of all, we checked that if someone cleared the browsing history, cleared the cookies or cleared the mobile data, so obviously your data would be gone, your tokens would be gone. So if I just say, if someone has cleared the cleared cookies. So in that case, you won't be having auth token and refresh token, because we were storing auth token and refresh token into our cookies. So that in that case, I would simply send this response and I would ask the user to log in again. Okay, so this is it. Now, else if automatically you would go to the next case. So you have to verify what? First thing which you need to verify is auth token. Okay, first thing which you need to verify is auth token. So JWT, actually we need to write JWT by simply importing JWT from JSON web token. So we already installed it in the previous video, you can watch that. So require JSON web token. Now we are going to verify that. For in the user routes, what they did was we simply created it using JWT, right? So now we are going to verify the same token here. Okay, so we simply say when we are logging in, we are generating the token. In check auth token, we are verifying the token. Okay, so it simply say JWT dot verify, and I am verifying what? I am verifying my auth token. Now from auth token, in auth token we actually saved a secret key, right? So I would be matching that secret key with my key which is available into my file, that is my env file. So I would just say jwt underscore secret. Okay, jwt secret key. So when we generated the auth token, you can see when we generated the auth token, we had the JWT secret key added inside it. Okay, so that's what we are going to say. Pass our JWT secret key inside this and check if it's valid or not. Okay, and also your expiry would also be checked. Okay, expiry of 10 minutes or 20 minutes would also be checked automatically. So once all these parameters are checked, we would look for two things here. Okay, either you would get an error or you would get a success message, right? So if it's getting an error, so we have to simply show that error. Okay, we have to simply show that error. So I would simply say if err, you have to do something. Okay, so you have to do something. What you have to do something? You have to simply say, since auth token is expired, what I told you was check refresh token. Okay, and now here if I say that if refresh token is also expired, so do something. Okay, to do something. So what we will do is, here we check that auth token is expired. So similar to this, I would just copy this, I would paste it here, and this time I have to look for refresh token, and again it had JWT refresh underscore secret key. It's actually refresh underscore secret key for refresh token, right? So here we are just checking the refresh token. Now if refresh token is also expired, then we would simply send the user to which page? To the login page. So again I can send this response. Okay, so copy and paste it here. So I'm just going to send the user to login page like this. Okay, I'm going to send this kind of response because both tokens are expired. Okay, so I'll just say refresh token are expired, both tokens expired. Okay, you have to just do this, and then after this, since both tokens are expired, so you would send the user to this page. But suppose if auth token is not expired, that means if auth token was not expired, that means you just started your application first. That means first you check for auth token. Since auth token is not expired, that means you are logged in, there is no issue. Okay, so I'll just say that suppose after 8 minutes, we have expiry of 10 minutes. After 8 minutes, I just restarted my application. So since you restarted your application, so you would simply say res.ok is true. and res.ok is true, and in the user id you would just extract the user id from what? You would just extract the id from decoded.user id. So decoded would be having the complete data of that specific token. If auth token, I'm talking about auth token, so auth tokens decoded would be having data like that. Okay, so this is for auth token. Now inside this, if the auth token is expired, obviously we are checking for refresh token. So if refresh token is also expired, we are simply sending this. But if refresh token is not expired, so we would generate a new auth token and refresh token. That's it. Okay, so in the else case, we are just going to generate new auth token and refresh token, same as our login routes. Okay, so inside the login you can see we generated the auth token and refresh token. So I'll just copy this again, and what I'll do is again here itself in the middleware we have to paste it. Okay, so here what did we do is we simply pass the id. So we would simply pass the id from decoded. Okay, so from decoded we were going to pass the id. Okay, so you can see that this is very confusing, so I would just say resh error. Okay, similarly it's resh decoded. Okay, so now it's better, so it's easy to judge. Okay, so we're just going to say that if we have refresh error, then only we are going to send that error, and yes, that's fine. Refresh decoded, so we are going to say that refresh decoded, and from that we are going to extract user id. Okay, and from refresh decoded also we are again going to generate the user id. Okay, so that's how we will again find the user id and again generate a new token. So I'll just say that's a new token. Okay, it's again a new token. Once you generate the new tokens, you have to save those tokens into your cookies, right? So you're again going to save your tokens into your cookies. So you would simply say, since you have generated new tokens, so you would again go to your user routes. Similar to this, we are again going to save this, and this time it's new auth token. So new auth token, and this is the new refresh token. That's how we save this into our cookies. And now since the user's refresh token was not expired in this case, so obviously you won't be logging out, you won't be sending this message, you would be continuing just like this. Okay, so that's what I'm going to say. So I'm just going to say from the refresh token refresh decoded, I'm just going to send this user to the next page. Okay, so I'm just extracting the user id from refresh decoded, and then OKs to, and then next. That means the user is still logged in, but I have just regenerated the tokens. Okay, that's it. So that's how actually logic of auth token and refresh token actually works. Now let's try to use it in task routes. Okay, so you know that here what did we do is we simply tried to log in. Okay, so first of all, if I just clear the cookies, okay, if I clear the cookies, so here itself if I clear the cookies, okay, now I cleared the cookies. Now first of all, if I go here in the task, now if I try to click send, so you can see authentication failed because no tokens are provided. Okay, so now first of all, if I click on send, so you can see tokens are here. If I go to cookies, you can see that it has auth token refresh token. That means I have saved my tokens into the cookies. Everything is fine. Now if I go here, now if I click on send, so you can see now it's returning me true. That means my tokens are verified. Okay guys, so here you can see we had the auth token and refresh token. That's why we are getting OK as true. So now what we'll do is let's wait for a few minutes. How many minutes we have to wait? So you can see whenever we generating the token, what would happen? We are looking it for 1 minute. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just make it 1 minute. Okay, instead of 10 minutes, I have to just get lesser time so that we can finish this tutorial. Okay, so after 1 minute, my auth token would be expired, and after refresh token would be expired after 3 minutes. Okay, so what we'll do is first we'll come after 1 minute and we'll see that what happens exactly. Okay, so and what else what we would do is we would simply say into our middleware, we would simply say that if both tokens are regenerated, I would simply say console.log new tokens set. Okay, new tokens regenerated. Okay, better regenerated. Okay, and if I just talk about refreshed, I would get this kind of error. If both token are generated, this is the error. And if I am just saying both tokens are already valid, so I would just simply say auth token and other token is also valid, and refresh token is valid. Okay, so both tokens are valid. So before 1 minute, this would be the case. After 1 minute, auth token would be expired, so this would be the case. After 3 minutes, this would be the case. Before 3 minutes, this would be the case. Okay, so now let's say we are going to generate a token, and let's come after 1 minute to exactly see what are the changes here. Guys, one more change which is needed here is, again, I also want to decrease the time here so that the token is maintained. When you're regenerating, obviously you would be decreasing the time, right? Okay guys, so now I'll test the tokens again. So right now I would simply say I'm logging again. Okay, I'm logging again, and I'm just saying that once the token is generated, it would be valid for 1 minute and 3 minutes. Now I would simply say once the checking is here. So if I just talk about console here, I would just write one more console here, console.log. Both tokens are expired in this case, and odd token in refresh token is valid, and this is showing me this. Yes, so these are all the cases which we actually had. Odd token and refresh token is expired. If not expired, then odd token is expired, but refresh token is not expired. So this would be the case, but if refresh token is also expired, this would be the case. Okay, so yes, you can see both tokens are expired, new token generated. Okay, that's it. So now I think this would work properly. And what else have we done here is we actually made some prints here. So I would simply remove this. We don't need this, we actually just need this. Okay, so now everything is here. Now if I click on login, let's come after a few seconds to see what are the exact changes. Okay, so I think the tokens are generated. Yeah, the tokens are generated. You can see tokens are generated, and it's actually available in my cookies right now. If I go here and click this, you can see OKs too. But after 3 minutes, let's see what's the exact thing which we get. So just after 3 minutes, we'll try to make some API call. Okay. Okay guys, so after 3 minutes you can see that we got this error. Why we got this error? So because odd token and refresh token are expired, that means you can assume it as 30 days instead of 3 days. So automatically once you don't use the application for 30 days, you would be logged out automatically. But before 30 days, if you try to log in again, that means if you just try to use this, for example, if I click on send, I've generated new tokens, I've logged in again. Now if I just use this for a number of times, there won't be any problem, but I just leave it for 3 minutes, then it won't be running. That means I have to log in again. Okay, so that's it. So I hope guys now you understood the purpose of log or so I hope guys now you understood the purpose of auth token and refresh token. We generated this and we are now using it for verifying that the user is logged in or not. So that's it for today. I will see you in the next one with the remaining APIs which we have for this task manager application. So I will see you in the next one. Till then, have a good day. Bye bye.